That Jack White better not walk in right now, because I'd kiss his ass.
All right.
Hey, Jack, remember all that shit I talked? That was just jealousy.
So I hear you're a big Jack White fan.
Oh my God. The best guitarist ever since Jimi Hendrix is what I've heard.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing like tuning your guitar down 2 steps and using 1,000 pedals and throwing a whammy thing in there.
I've always found more success tuning guitar strings however I felt in that moment.
I mean, that's how you do it, right?
Music was a lot of fun when I was in high school, but it became less fun when I got to college.
Sure.
And then
Comes work.
college effectively killed my enjoyment of music, which is why currently I do not play any musical instruments. Even guitar, which I was really excited to play.
I remember.
I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Originally, we were supposed to start a band, not a YouTube channel.
I understand. And then you
Maybe,
heard me play guitar, and you were like, "Yeah, let's start it. Maybe we
Do you have
could
a camera? Do you
Yeah,
have a camera?
I'm just wondering if you like movies, right? I supposedly like movies.
That's how it happens.
Watch baseball.
I do.
I watched a
Sometimes.
YouTuber, and he decided to watch all of the baseball movies that were released in his lifetime
Jeez.
to see how accurate they were in terms of
Major League came out on top.
Major League. I think was number 5.
I like baseball movies. Remember Field of Dreams?
Sure,
That was a big movie.
it's a big movie. Not a lot of baseball in there though. More about baseball.
It's more about
Talking about baseball.
building a field.
Yeah,
That stuff's cool.
it's kind of a cool premise.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time. I wonder if it holds up.
It still does. I think I saw it probably 2-3 years ago.
What's his face is in there?
Ray Liotta.
Darth Vader and Ray Liotta.
James Earl Jones. Yeah. No, I do like that movie. I think Kevin Costner, just as a side, he's very believable as a baseball player and as a golfer.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw Tin Cup,
I don't think so.
that's a pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well, I liked in Major League, it was like they had these actors that were obviously supposed to be based off of real baseball players, right? Like Wesley Snipes was obviously Ricky Henderson. That guy in the Yankees with the mustache was supposed to be Don Mattingly. The Yankees were really made to look very, very bad in that movie.
Yeah. You're not gonna like New York.
Nobody likes the
If you're
Yankees. Makes sense.
What were you wearing that hat for?
Is that what I'm wearing?
You look like Short Round with that hat on.
Short round.
Short Round.
So what was his number one pick? What was the most realistic baseball movie?
Well, he was kind of playing around a little bit. So number 2 was
Playing the
Bull
field.
Durham.
I was just going to ask, what do you think of that movie? But yeah,
I do like Bull Durham.
that's a minor league film. Right?
Minor league.
Yeah.
Yep. Bull Durham was number 2, and then he said number 1 was Air Bud, whatever.
What?
And then he's like, I think the title speaks for itself. And then he ended the video. So it was a joke. I'm thinking. So Bull Durham basically is his number 1,
Got it.
which makes me have to now go back and be like, well, wait a second. Now number 5 is actually 4? Oh.
Math.
Not,
Actually, yeah. Bill Durham.
Bill Durham.
Bull Durham.
Have you worked with Bill Durham before?
Bill Durham is the next character on our show.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh,
hey, I did
you
it.
Got it.
Wow.
Woo. Red
Ooh.
Letter Day. You heard it here first, folks.
Wow, and
We
you did
both
that with
it.
very good ease. Like me, I was almost feeling like I was on the roller coaster going in the loop.
A
I
roller
was like,
coaster of
am I
emotions,
gonna
yeah.
get over it? I did.
Yeah.
And there I did it. Yeah.
Tim Robbins, right?
Tim Robbins.
As a young, eager minor league player who is learning the ways of the game and love. Mm-hmm. What's her face? Susan Sarandon's in that.
Sarandon,
She's
yeah.
the older. She's probably like in her 30s at that point, but she was like the older seductress, teaching the young players what to do.
Well, and they do a lot of. And this guy was talking about this as well, and I had to agree with him. They're talking about a lot of psychology of the game, and just like is what is going on in the minds of the players as they're just like
if you're in a slump, like it's really hard to get out. It's all mental.
Yeah.
Kind of like golf too. Golf, like once you're like, man, I suck. That's it. Every shot's going to the right or left.
Well, I mean, that's it's the nerves, man. It's tough, but yeah, I do like baseball movies. They're doing Moneyball.
I love that movie. Did that make the list?
Yeah, it was on there. I don't remember where. It was 18 or 19, in there. I do like that movie. I think that it's got a lot of
Billy Bean.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I enjoy sports movies that are not really about the sport and more about the behind the scenes, like the politics,
absolutely, yeah,
the decisions. Like that's probably why one of my favorite sports movies is Any Given Sunday.
I knew you were going to say that. I was just about to bring it up. Yeah,
because it's perfect. Oliver Stone can talk all he wants about the politics and just the behaviors of the players and just like.
I'm guessing that was a book, right?
I don't remember if that was a book.
It seems like it was a book, but who knows?
But I love Pacino in that movie. He's just so good. Tony D'Amato. Just such a great. And Blue Chips. Have you ever seen that movie? Ooh, I definitely recommend.
Right?
Basketball, college ball.
I've heard
Nick
of it,
Nolte. Shaq is in there.
Oh,
He was pretty good.
interesting.
I highly recommend that movie.
Blue Chips?
Blue Chips.
I'll check it out.
I have it on DVD. Maybe I'll bring it over.
Yeah. That's a good format.
Great film. And directed by William Friedkin. So
William Redkin.
Oh, William Redkin.
Yes.
Which I thought was originally William who? Friedkin? Redkin?
And I had no idea who that was.
So yeah, sports.
Sports.
I don't even like watching sports anymore, but I will watch a movie that is about sports.
Baseball's tough because there's like 180 freaking games a season, and it doesn't really matter until you get to August. Like, the Mets were doing great. They're in the first place whole season, and they because that's what they always do. But
yeah. Well, I was at the laundromat the other day, and Joe Torre was on talking about...
Joe Torre was at the laundromat?
He was.
Man, it's been rough.
But he was saying, when you're playing 180 games, how do you go... They were referring to the Yankees Red Sox, was like 2004 or something like that, 2003, where they were up by 3 and then they lost 4 in a row. And he was just like, yeah, when you're playing 180 games a season, you can win or lose. Like, it's not the biggest deal, to lose a game here because you got so many games.
Yeah.
But then in the playoffs,
show up in the fall.
It's a completely different set of rules. Like you have to be, every game counts. And
it's tough, man. It's a tough game.
Like in football,
and they're traveling every other day.
Oh yeah. No, and so
it's insane sport.
I like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just watching the games. I can't sit down for 3 hours to watch a game.
And again, if you're watching in May or June, you're like, what is even the point? Who cares? But
I do like going to games.
That's a different experience for sure. And the analytics too. It's like, well, who's gonna pitch tonight? Well, this is obviously our best pitcher, but we got to save his arm for next week. Or it's like, it's interesting stuff. But
and that's what comes into, how do you? I really do like that stuff. Like, how are you going to play this? Or like this guy's out, he's on the injured list. So what are we gonna do for who's our third? Or just. That to me is so much more strategy wise. Like I really like that stuff.
Yeah, and there's like all these people make jokes about pitchers in the 70s and 80s that would they just throw them in like back to back, like you're pitching 18 innings today, son. And like that never happens anymore. Like you get at best 4 or 5 innings out of your best pitchers now, and that's it. They got to go rest. Yeah. But back then in the 70s, like, have at it, kid. You're pitching for 7 hours today.
It's just the sport.
Don't worry about your arm; it'll bounce back.
And how they changed, everything has changed. And the teams that go with those changes, the ones that, that understand that they could be successful, but that makes for good storytelling too. For like, again, even in, you know, Bull Durham or Blue Chips or Any Given Sunday, you know, those are the kinds of, like, you've got an old style approach. Like, how are you updating it? What are you doing to change the rules, you know, or your strategies for a more modern game? It's definitely something that people.
Well, I think too, outside of maybe basketball, like baseball players are known to be like the biggest partiers, right? They're drinking. I mean, back in the day, they would drink during the games, you know, smoking cigarettes in the dugout. Like, it was a different breed, but they're known to be the party animals for sure.
Did you ever watch any of those sports, like,
oh boy,
like the celebrity poker? It's not a pun. I
tried.
I did like that. There was that phase in the mid 2000s.
Yep, poker was on. They had like their own network, basically, the Poker Network. Maybe they was on. I don't know.
I remember something like. Well, was it like ESPN or like
probably
games?
Oh yeah, maybe it was the game show channel.
Game show channel. It's not a game show. It's poker.
I remember watching those. I remember, you know, who was really good at poker was actually Norm Macdonald. A lot of our favorites, Louis Anderson, big poker player. He's got some great Vegas poker stories.
Well, wasn't Affleck like a good poker player, or at least definitely involved?
So you bring up an interesting point, because there's a whole Tobey Maguire thing. Like, he was on his way to like being a, you know, especially after Spider-Man. I mean, even before that, he was kind of building up that resume. Cider House Rules was really big. Remember that film?
99.
But then apparently he was blacklisted from Hollywood.
Why is that? Gambling?
I think gambling had something to do with it. He was going to those like private poker parties.
How are you blacklisted in Hollywood for gambling?
He had debts all around town, including to known pornographers.
Very good.
I think
walked into that one. But what happened to Toby? Because I remember there was a movie, Molly's Game, I think is the name of it. And I watched it. It came out a couple of years ago, but there were people in that film that were modeled after real life people. I believe one of them was Toby.
Oh.
It was a movie which it's just kind of showing people as being maybe a little bit arrogant, too pushy.
He was in the posse.
What is that? Is that a DiCaprio thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Him, DiCaprio, and who's the other guy? There was the third guy. Who's in the posse? Anybody?
Paul Giamatti?
Oh, man. He ran that club. Whose father was the commissioner of baseball.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah.
I do like baseball.
And he's the one that banned Pete Rose.
Oh, no. For gambling.
Yeah.
Oh, it all circles back together.
Yep. He's the one. He put the lifetime ban on Pete Rose. That was Giamatti's dad.
Yeah.
That's rough. Speaking of Giamatti.
Yeah.
Last thing I saw him in was he was playing Einstein in a commercial on the Super Bowl. It's kind of embarrassing.
Einstein?
Yeah.
Doesn't even look like Einstein.
They put a wig on him and a mustache.
Oh, I can see it then.
Yeah, not Bob Einstein. I missed that guy.
Did you ever watch that joke?
Of course.
The Conan one?
P.S. Your is in the sink. Which one? Yeah, he does. He did it on
the
Conan,
one he did, and just he kept that straight face the whole time.
He's
impressive.
Great. Oh, he's the best.
Super Dave.
I remember watching that when it was on Fox, like when it aired, and I was like, not for me. But I tried.
No, I didn't like it either.
But I gave it a shot. He had a cartoon as well. It wasn't just a TV show. Like Super Dave was big for like a minute, and then just went away.
Yeah.
Who plays your favorite guy, Andy, on Curb? Cousin Andy.
Oh, Richard Kind.
Yeah, he's still alive.
He was just on your favorite show, Late Night with, or the Late Show, Seth Meyers. He was just on there.
I don't hate Seth Meyers. I just don't think he's entertaining or funny.
Oh man,
he's boring.
So Richard Kind was on there. So this is what he was telling the story about. He's on there and he said that I was in my hotel room and I got a phone call, and that phone call, guess who it was? Norman Lear. and he was there with Norman Lear with Mel Brooks and who's the other guy? It's another old guy. It's a really old guy. So Norman Lear, Mel Brooks, and damn it, who's
Cecil B. DeMille.
Cecil B. DeMille.
He wants me to be in his picture.
It was a guy who I was like, wow, I can't believe that guy is still alive.
Oh,
I did like that impersonation. I'm gonna keep doing that.
It's pretty good. There's a little Quentin in there. I think there's a little Quentin in all.
There's a little Quentin in everybody.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's that when you do this, it's like just sounds like Quentin because that's how he talks. Okay.
Well, he doesn't say okay as much anymore. He's like, all right. So they're in the middle of this movie, all right. And then they put the wig on that guy. Mm-hmm. That guy.
Your mic's very hot today.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I turned the gain up a little bit. Sounds good.
Okay.
Jazz
Dick
school.
Van Dyke. Damn it.
Oh, that guy's like 98 years old.
Okay.
Poor guy.
No. He's still spry. So I'm going to tell the story.
Yeah, but have you seen him?
Yeah, but have you seen Bob Newhart?
We leave Newhart alone. I thought he was dead. He looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Okay, I got a notification.
Poor guy.
I got a notification yesterday from the New York Times that said
Bob Newhart is still alive. Every day they just send a notification.
Unbelievable, folks. So yeah, Richard Kind. So Richard Kind was on Seth Meyers, and he was talking about that Mel Brooks, Dick Van Dyke, and Norman Lear all gave him a phone call because of it was like, I think Richard was doing like a new show or something like that, and they were all just either giving him advice or something. So I'm screwing up that story, but the joke of this to me is that of all three of those guys, Mel Brooks is the baby of the group because he's only 95.
Jeez.
And everybody else is 96 or 100 or something like that. And it's just like they keep going, man. They just keep going.
Dude, Mel Brooks, as much as I'm not going to say I don't, I respect the man, the talent. He's just not one of the people that I grew up watching. I've told this to you this before. Like,
Sure.
I got to his movies very late in life, and because of that, probably they didn't really resonate as much as they would have. I also didn't get a lot of the humor as a kid, because it was very adult themes. But that guy was a badass. He fought in World War II. He killed Nazis.
Is he a paratrooper?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he killed at least one Nazi.
I mean, yeah, he saw action.
Insane. Good for him, dude.
Yeah.
And then he came back and became like one of the greatest comedy movie directors of all time, writers, whatever. So he's a badass. I can't say anything bad about the man. Seems like a very nice fellow. He's funny. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, I guess, when it came to his movies. I was too young, and no one took me aside and was like, "Hey, you would like this stuff." I missed it.
No one took me aside. I was like, hey, lighten up.
Hey,
lighten up, kid.
He's funny. He killed Nazis. Had I known he had killed Nazis, I would be like, all right, let me see what this guy can do.
I like this guy.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah. He has that kind of that quality that I think the Farrelly brothers had, when they're writing actual things out. The comedians, like like watching Ghostbusters or Animal House or Blues Brothers, like these comedies from like the 70s, and I mean even like way long ago, like they're writing actual jokes and setups and things like that, and punchlines and callbacks and everything else, whereas like a modern comedy seems to be just like, so I was in this weird situation. Even Jerry could write a joke. He wrote jokes. Jay Leno writes jokes.
Oh, absolutely.
Rodney Dangerfield was all jokes. Henny Youngman jokes. Like
Henny
Youngman. Could we have something a little more modern, please?
Yeah, no.
These are joke writers, like people who could actually take over a room and make you laugh. And Don Rickles, like these guys are just...
That was back in the day when you could literally write a joke, send it to the Tonight Show, and if they liked it, they would give you money and use it. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. There was a whole Cheers episode about that. Cliff gets one of his jokes on the Tonight Show, and then Johnny reads it wrong, and nobody laughs, and Cliff gets all upset. And then his mom is like, "You did it all wrong, Johnny. You have to put the stress on the..." And then they laugh. It's a good episode. It's not the best, but... Anyway, where was I? Oh, I thought of you the other day because you always quote that scene where they're combing the desert.
Yeah.
And that guy goes, we ain't found. Do you know who that actor is?
Yes.
Tim Russ.
He's on Star Trek.
He's a Vulcan.
Yes.
I love it. I only found that out like literally this week. And I was like, oh, that's Tim. Not that guy. Still doing the cold opening?
We haven't even talked about the damn show.
No.
I think what we're doing
This is a long cold
is
opening.
our after hours right now.
Pretty much.
6 hours.
Just getting warmed up.
Woo. Okay.
I'm
gonna have to take a break.
That's a good Warner Brothers cartoon. We're gonna use props today. So I found this magazine in my dad's office.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. From December 1999.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, and it's in mint condition.
Yeah.
No, not even any like real sun fading. I was like, Dad, why do you have a magazine from 1999 about digital trends? He's like, I haven't gotten around to reading it yet. And I was like, fair point. Can I have it? He's like, yeah, it's fine. I probably won't. Look at this computer. It's like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, what did he say? There's a story about, that's why. It's the Middle East issue. He's like, I need to see what's going on in the Middle East. I was like, I think it's out of date, bro. I think
Call your dad bro.
and it's still a thing. Being a jerk. Jesus Christ. I was like, not much has changed, and yet everything has changed. Anywho.
Okay.